All right, we got a lot of fundamentals in place. I mean, there's plenty more to build, but we can kind of start jumping into the window server in Windows and having some windowing functionality instead of, I feel like everything up to this point's been kind of plumbing. All we're doing is a black screen with three lines being drawn across it. But uh, it's been fun to get to this point, and I'm pretty happy with most stuff so far. I was thinking about some memory stuff that I would like to tweak a little bit, but I think we should just keep moving on and start on the windowing system. Um, I don't have a really solid plan. I've done small stuff before, but I don't have like an exact plan for this video. So I think I'm just going to kind of get in there and see what the kind of API feels good and go from there. And this will be multiple videos, I think. Like this is a pretty large topic, but it's also, I think, an interesting one. Building GUI is not something I have much experience in. I've done a couple really small ones. Um, and doing one actually kind of encouraged me to do this project as well. So I think we'll just dive in. All right, let's go. I think just before we do that, let me show you. Last time I did a couple things. We don't need to go through it all. I added realloc. I moved to C11. I had planned to stay on intentionally on C99 until I ran into a couple things that made C11 worth it. I knew the feature list, but I wanted to like feel the pain of C99 and see if I really felt like it was worth it to go to C11. And it's not massive, and there's ways around these two features, but it was for align as and static assert. And static assert's pretty obvious. It's like compile time asserts, which we're needing more and more. And the align as is important as well. I think right here. Let me check. Yes. So in our debug allocator, we allocate the header and then return the pointer after the header. You want what you return to the user to be aligned based on the architecture. And there's GCC and Clang features to do this, but non-standard ways. You need this as a non-standard way. Sorry, this is the standard way that came in C11. So it ensures that the memory that comes after the header is aligned, and it essentially just adds padding here if necessary, if it's not divisible by whatever this number is. I'm actually not sure. It kind of makes more sense to me to have it here. And that's how the Clang and GCC, I believe, versions work, because it makes sense to be on the struct. I probably should look it up more because I'm not 100% sure why it needs to be on this field or any field, I believe. I just put on the first so it's most visible, but that's beyond me, but I'll figure it out or look it up again, possibly. Static asserts is pretty obvious. So I think what we'll do is just, I don't think we have it yet. So, I think I created a WS folder. Is that cached or something? Let's just make it. Then, yeah, let's just have something called server. We'll probably have like window and server is what I'm thinking. And then plenty more after that, but the main objects. So because this is an important thing, like the Windows server and even Windows, you don't typically want people poking in and messing with fields manually. You want functions to control that so they can do it safely. So you're not just reaching into the struct. So we'll probably do struct or opaque pointers on this by doing pipe def struct, and we'll have something called a server, and then we'll type def it to ws server t. And this is what we're already doing for our display, I think. Yeah, we're doing the exact same thing here. But just to keep it simple and not jump around files, I'm going to put the struct right here, but we'll move it into the implementation server.c. So what do we need? We know we'll need a display. We have one in our main function right now, and we'll do it as part of the create process here. We can create it and pass it into the server, but I kind of think the server is going to own it. We don't need to create all the dependencies, pass them into server, like with dependency inversion. I think we can just do import. I think we might just have the server constructor construct this as well. For now, I'm going to add a width and a height. Display is going to have that, but I'm sure the server is going to want it too. And we can do some kind of assert that they're the same. Initialization. What else are we going to have? A display. We're going to have a surface that is, I get the desktop. We can call it the desktop or the, like basically the, where your wallpaper would be in your files on your desktop, like whatever that image, resulting image would be. And then composite. This will be the kind of the final image every frame. Like there'll be the desktop, and then you'll loop through the windows and then paint each window onto the composite. And then you'll display the composite. The desktop is just whatever's on the desktop, be it just a background, solid color, etc. And it's probably going to get more complicated. We don't even have to start there. Let's just start without it. Do we want that? A composite? Maybe we do. Let's just do it, because even for the composite, we can draw that. We can draw the desktop. We'll have to have the plumbing in place to loop through surfaces or use other surfaces to composite. So I think that's okay. Let's give maybe a background color and stick there. We can add windows and so on and so forth, but let's just do this. It's easy to just add more and more complexity, but let's just keep it as simple as possible. And we're going to return. Go ahead and hide this now. I don't know why I did that. Let's do server.c. Import. Import. I'm going to try and have it do it, but some of these include the other ones, so. I don't even think we need that anymore. Okay, so we're going to need a constructor, server T, WS server create. We'll just kind of follow the same pattern we've been doing everywhere else. 532 width, 532 height. Let's have a destroy. It doesn't return anything, but it does take a WS server T server. And so we're going to do that. Let's look at our main file because this is where it's going to happen. We're going to get the allocator. Oh, well, here's our, if we were to rename these now, actually, just imagine that was that. That'll be part of our constructor. So we'll do, can we actually just fake it right now? Oh, there you go. That's a good example. We're going to need an allocator because, watch this. We're going to need to pass it in because these are going to get constructed inside the, sorry, these are going to get called inside the Windows Server constructor, the create function, and they need an allocator. So we'll have to pass one in. So if we were to fake this and go server T, this isn't implemented obviously yet, but let's just call it server, W server, server until we have another one maybe. Server create. And we know we're going to have, let's do this because this is exactly what it's going to need. Alloc and screen and height, include it. All right, so it's complaining about the arguments because we're not including an allocator. And if that's going to need an allocator, I would assume this is going to need an allocator. And it's probably going to be a pointer. I think we decided to use a pointer for allocators, even though it doesn't need to be. It could be a pass by value, and all the fields on that struct are pointers. So, and none of those pointers would change in the lifetime of a copy of that struct or of an instance of an allocator because they're just pointers to functions. All right, let's come back here. So this now looks good. I'm just going to paste this here temporarily. Let's take these to server.c. Why does this not like this? Unknown WS server T, is that? Server. All right. What we could do is I don't know why that didn't work. I was just trying to do a macro. But half the times you try to do macros, you could have just done it manually. Do we need to figure out where, like, see how we need to decide where our boundary for asserts are. Like, do we want to keep doing them at every layer? Because I was about to imagine if we assert here, we're just asserting that this is not null. So we actually got something back. But display can't return null. It would have blown up before. Like, for instance, here, if any of these fail, it's going to blow up. But in turn, these make sense. But do we need to assert here because debug allocator on allocate, if it doesn't allocate, it asserts. I need to think about that if we want to keep doing it at every tier. Maybe it's still good practice. You can catch it at every level. And it's all going to get compiled away in production anyway, or at a release build. But at some point, it might be just wasteful. Like maybe you know some bottom level that's like anything. Well, we don't know what the caller of this doesn't know what it's going to do necessarily, but I wonder if we're calling our own functions anywhere we're calling one of our own functions, we can know that if we're not going to return an error, it's going to fail. I don't know. We need to think about that probably along with our error handling strategy because right now we're just exploding on everything. All right. What's our background color? We can probably just set directly on the struct. So the width and height. So we have everything we need. So what we really need to do now is allocate the WS server T pointer. Let's just call it server. Alloc, and we'll pass in our allocator and the size, which is size of the server. I'm sure most people know, but you can do the size of the type, WS server T. That obviously works, but a little small shortcut, not shortcut, but a little defensive programming is just to do dereference the thing you're doing here. So it's server. That way, if you ever change this type to something else, it would automatically update here because you're just referencing the variable. You don't have to, you're not explicitly saying the type, you're just saying whatever server is. So it's just good defensive programming. Again, here, like malloc, do we want to assert? We know malloc is asserting, but I'm just going to keep asserting for this video and I'll rethink that and come back maybe with a cleanup plan or strategy. So now that we have the server, let's server do width, server height, let's do display. We're just going to set these up just like they are in the struct. I think I could do. I didn't show y'all the color changes I made. I need to show y'all that too. I'll come back to that. We made some minor changes there. Let's also destroy. So if we get one in, we want to destroy it. Do we care about asserting the allocators there? We're getting a little too assert heavy, but I'm just trying to stay consistent at the beginning of the video. I don't want to switch it up. I don't want to switch it up like the style mid video. So what do we want to, and server display, let's just go crazy. And then we're going to say mem free. No, with this, we're not even have to free the memory. We're going to say OS display destroy just pass in the allocator and the server display. Because this probably asserts that this is here. I think that's fair enough. Like, you check your own params. You don't have to check all the child elements. That's definitely too much. OS, or no, what is it? Graphic surface. Destroy alloc server desktop. Nice. And then we do need to free the server itself, right? So create alloc, destroy, free. Just tidy this up for right now. Maybe I like that better. These are not quite Scalar, but I don't know. There's different ways to do it, but I'm going to leave for now. Does that work now? Variable incomplete type. Oh, it's got to be a pointer. Duh. One, we can get rid of these for sure because we do that, but we need to add. Anything that creates it, they own it. So this created it. This is responsible for destroying the display and desktop. This will go away. We might just get rid of it right now. I think that we can. I'm just wondering, WS server, do we want it? I mean, this is it. WS server, do we even need these anymore? Can we encapsulate this into, because it's got, this is now background color. We use desktop display and desktop, which these are all dependencies now of this. So if we have something like, yeah, something like that. That's our like base. We're gonna have to pass events too, but I think this might be the next one we need. WS server render. I don't think we'll need to allocate or anything. Just there is another thing that I'm thinking just now. You could pass in. I don't know if we want to do this. Maybe this is a bad idea, but when you pass this in, you could attach this pointer to the struct, and then everything else like that. There probably won't be many of these functions, like top level functions for server, but then you don't have to pass that allocator. You almost shouldn't. In case you have a different one, you don't want to accidentally pass in another one. You just want to. Well, yeah, because you have this. You just say deallocate it with its own allocator. Can you do that? There are going to be some weird. If you deallocate that memory, as long as you don't touch it again, because the thing that's deallocating it, yeah, I think it would be fine, but whatever. We'll come back to it. Do we have to do much more than copy this? So we're going to clear it. What is present? Okay, so this, yeah, this is where it's desktop. But imagine you had a bunch of windows, so you probably have like a for loop here. You do desktop first, and then you loop through each window, like split the desktop, then window, 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 like in their Z order, and then you present the final. That's what I was had before with the composite. That's how you spell it, but it's not. It doesn't even exist anymore. But or composited or final image. I don't like that, but something like that. You know, that's the composited image of all the windows in the desktop. For now, just to check everything's running, let's just stick with this. I might even kind of like that just as a reminder, but okay. Did that just work? I think. Did we set red? Yeah. Okay. Let's set black. You know what we can put in here? Just temporary. Is this? We're going to get rid of it, but at least we'll have something to see. And screen width. And then we just need to import this. I think the background, we should maybe, is it too bright to just try white? Then we'll do the lines. And then, so each frame we'll clear it and then we'll draw it. And then, yeah, we'll present it. Make run. Oof, maybe white's a little bit too bright. Maybe we go black again. Better. I know you're probably getting really tired of seeing that one screen. Like we built all this stuff and that's all we have. But I was kind of hoping to get through 10 videos or something of just plumbing, and then they'll start getting more visual and interesting, and we'll have everything we need after 10 videos. Just some basics. I mean, is this, I feel like we have the basics. Am I tripping? Is there anything? Oh, yeah. Cool. So we can get rid of all that. We got our allocator. We start our server, event handle, draw, shutdown. That's it. Let's even start to make stuff look prettier. This is kind of how I would see as it grows and grows. Initialization. This is very obvious stuff, but initialization, event loop, shutdown. I mean, that's about as simple as it gets. But I kind of imagine this is all just running SDL, but when this is a kernel, it's going to have all the initialization, and the OS will have an event loop, I believe, And yeah, and I don't know if it'll be that. it's- I think Windows Server would be a different process. For now, Windows Server is going to be the main process, and then we'll have applications. Not right away. Will be in separate processes and communicate via IPC. For now, it's literally going to be one process is calling an STL, drawing the window, drawing the sub windows that's acting like the main window's acting like an OS. So um, I think it's I think that's might be commit worthy. I actually don't. That was the one we accidentally created. Let's just take a double check. I'm really considering the allocator, attaching this allocator like we said. Should we do it? Just to try it. We'll see if we like it. Because I can't imagine a scenario where you don't want the same allocator to free. Um, there is actually, I take that back. There is cases where you might want different allocators internally when you're calling stuff. Like you want a standard, just heap allocator, and then you want a bump allocator or some other slab allocator for a different type of when you're doing images or fonts or something like that, or text even. But mm, yeah, let's keep it explicit for now. Let the pattern kind of emerge on its own. And when it starts to get cumbersome and annoying, then we can do it, and then we can stop passing it in here. We don't have to assert it. And these I'm okay with. You're still passing those. Yeah, let's keep them. Let's keep it explicit for now. Like we say, let the pattern emerge on its own. All right. I don't even know what to say this is. Add WS Windows Server module. Add and use, like we say, module. And I mean, that's really all we added was the server, right? And what will happen is we're going to pass these events into like a Windows Server handler function. It will convert into its own style events that are like window specific and pass those down. They won't be OS events, but we'll need some kind of conversion process. One thing we could do that until we get there, this is annoying to me. And I want to say if event, wait, what? Key. Oh, code equals. I just typing that out made me realize that all of a sudden, like with just that one deal, I think I get why SDL does up and down events separately, like key up, key down, because in real, like right here, it doesn't matter because you're quitting, right? But I don't want to have to write and event.u.key. is pressed equals true. And like, are you going to have to do that on everywhere where we're branching with ifs, whereas the other way you would just say key down, do whatever key, because most of the time you're only going to care about key down, right? Like I would say 99% of the time, and probably the same for mouse, except or mouse button, except for like dragging, maybe not there, dragging, resizing, which is also dragging, anything where you're holding the mouse button down and moving. But the Windows server can probably track that, like button down until it's down until it gets an up event. I think that's going to have to get split. That's I don't think it sucks, but I think now I can appreciate why they had separate ones. It just felt messy before. Like why do they need two? Just stack it in with the event. But then yeah, you have to have branching logic all the time. Right. So it's not down. Let's just see if again here it doesn't matter because we're just quitting. If it sees up or down, we don't care. Just quit because it's the escape key. Cool. That's been bugging me forever. I'm going to take a 2 second break. All right. Are we at this point where we're going to add commits for small changes? Maybe. We're just getting a better habit of our commits. Because right now we've been combining stuff just because we were moving faster. And oh, okay. Do we want to, what's next? Do we want to handle input? No, we probably want to, maybe draw, maybe add a window. Are we missing a step? There's something, because we don't really need to handle input yet because we don't have any windows. We could draw some windows or like a window that would have a window type. And its own like surface. Yeah, maybe that's better because you don't need to handle any events so you have something to move around or deal with, right? Do we want to, since there's no like move semantics or anything, do you want to server window add and do it here and it like has it internally, or do you want to like have a window constructor and you pass in a window, but then it like take or move or something to signify? Because once the server gets it, I don't want anybody else to own it. Like I want the server to own it, its whole life cycle. So take, is that a pattern we like? What we could do is start with this. And the other option is, like I said, window add, and then, with height, and maybe actually I32X, I32Y, like where on the screen we're going to put it, like top left corner probably. And what else does it need? Const car. Oh, that's a good point. That means in a new video we could probably do a string type or a string view, something like that. Because that's something I've always wanted to do. Is I haven't ever really built from scratch a full string library, and I think that's a good one, interesting one, especially in C. I think probably write a passage. I've written very small ones, I should say, but never an actual like full-fledged library. If we go this route, then this becomes new. And then you would call this. I wonder if there's a pattern. Is there a pattern in C that you would go like window? Like, does anybody do anything like this where you'd go new? No, create. Sorry, not new. Imagine we call it. We get the window. Let's just do pseudocode window equals, and then WS server window take window. And then like explicitly. Yeah, maybe we could, but like cast it to void, because then I don't think you could use it accidentally down below. You couldn't pass it to a destructor, which we don't want you to do. I don't know if that's a, I mean, I might be like stumbling upon stuff that, or coming upon stuff that has been around for 50 years, but it maybe it's a bad idea. I just kind of want to be explicit about the ownership. And I mean, that's the point of, I guess, a lot of stuff in C++, but I might appreciate those features more if I see all the edges people cut their, I don't know what kind of analogy I'm trying to make, but issues people run into. Taken. What about that? Kind of looks like the logo from the movie too. Stylized. I might do that. I don't. I don't necessarily hate that. Like in practice, it might look all right, and then when you see the constructor, you see it's where it's taken. Let's start that way. If it stinks, we'll literally take the constructor, stick it inside a server window add, and we'll move on with our lives. It's not a big deal. So let's do it. So I don't care about this. We just need to create the window first. We got to do kind of the pragma once. We're going to do kind of the same struct thing. Type def struct window, no, WS window. I don't hate this either, but I don't know. Window, we don't even have a font yet, so we don't really need. Do we want to keep things simple for ourselves? Or update our constructors later? I don't know. Let's keep it simple. That should be create. That's definitely going to need mem allocator alloc destroy. Again, another place we could store the allocator for the release, a pointer to the allocator on the object itself. It seems like that could, maybe on like big things like this, but places you're allocating a bunch, you wouldn't want that. But things with like longer lifetimes like this that you aren't as created and destroyed as often, maybe that's worth the cost of having the allocator available like on the window struct. Oh, we're gonna have, this is gonna have to have, how do we draw the window? function pointers again, maybe. The render call is going to loop through windows, and it's going to, for each window, it's going to call a function, which is probably the. Does every window have the same? Like the application has custom stuff it calls a window, or does each window have its own like application specific draw function? Mm, well, as always, let's just keep it simple. Figure it out when we get there. YWS window. So what does a window have? It's got a surf. Well, it's got a width, height, X, Y. I mean, that's position X, Y. I think we did that somewhere else where it was necessary, but I don't think it's necessary here. Position X, Y. Graphic surface. What do we call that? Content? It's not like a background. It's not, I mean, it is the content. It's the full content area because the Windows server will draw the Windows styling. Like you don't want the Windows responsible for that. Like the frame and the Chrome. This will be temporary because we're not drawing anything in these windows, but we're gonna need like a color or something to differentiate the windows. So maybe um, content color or just color. Who cares? Now let's do content color because maybe there's. I'm gonna do content color. Yeah. What else do we need? Something's wrong. Is it because of this? With WS window T, didn't we already do this? Why can't I do size of an incomplete? But we have that right here. We're struct window. Oh, WS window. That's why. Duh. Window Y equals Y. Yeah, we're not using shorties. So you don't want this to. You also don't want this to be larger than the width of the server, but we don't have the server. We don't have access to the server's width. So maybe the server, whenever we add the window, when it takes ownership of the window, it validates that. Or it could clamp it even. That's what it could do. It could clamp it, because why would you error? You just clamp it. So it's always visible. At least during creation, you can move it around after, but we might clamp. We did. I think I'm gonna swap the way we did the server actually, because I think this might be nicer. So we're gonna need a surface content equals mem alloc. Oh no, we don't do that. We do allocator width height. So really, window is going to be the total window. And imagine you had a 10 pixel border around the whole thing for like title bar, footer, handles on the side, like the whole frame. The content is actually smaller than that. You know, it's width height minus 20 because 10, 10, 10, 10. But I think it, well, yeah, because you're going to resize, so the content is going to allocate big, and then when you shrink it, you're not going to deallocate it, at least for a long time. Like, why would you deal with that allocation or free? Or no, you'd have to do realloc and then the copy, or realloc would do the copy, but that doesn't seem smart. So I guess my point is this is a little bit too big. The content's bigger than the window, but I think that's okay for now. This is not, like I said, not the way I did the Windows Server constructor. All right, so we could derail. We're going to need a background color. I was going to derail and do a rand function, and then you could pass that random generator into, you need to pass it. It have global state. You call, you know, rand u8 or something, like a module in our AK library, standard library, rand module, rand underscore u8, and it would return, I guess you'd want a range or something, 0 to 255, and then you have a graphics color rand, and it just returns a color that calls rand to that rand range 3 times, RGB, and then alpha's 255 always. Maybe not always, but that's what we want here. But I think that's a significant detour that we don't really need. So, I mean, something we'll want very quickly, but let's just set it to graphics green, maybe, just for now. And we'll just make sure one window works, and then we can get more fancy. That doesn't need to be separated either. I don't like the idea of these like pointer relationships, that kind of stuff at the bottom. They seem more important, but these are more like fundamental or scalar or whatever types. And then pointers are kind of like relationships. It always seems more tidy that way to me. Things are starting to get easier. Before we forget, do we want to go change the way we do this? Let's assert the server first, or get the server first. That even just exposed a bug. Awesome. Do we create each thing and then just do them all together? I think that's cool. And I even think I might separate that. This doesn't make any sense, does it? Build the base and then add the relationships after. No, not now at least. Server display desktop. I'm glad we did that then. Okay. Curious how long it's been. We're at about an hour, so let's at least get a window drawn. So the server now needs a way to hold windows and take windows, right? What did we say we're? Oh, moved because of like move semantics. Nah, taken. Because then we're gonna have the method take, and then you call taken, or the function. Sorry, I say method, but obviously it's a function. Say function ends in take. That's the verb, and then you just call taken after. By the scope, is that right? Got to be careful about lifetimes. Something like this, the Windows server is going to outlast everything. Let's just do it. Let's do 100, XY, and then what are we at? 800 by 600? So 300 by 250. We're not asserting here like we're talking all that big game about being consistent. We're not doing it here. All right, server, window take, window. And then, so what if then we call WS window destroy window, right? Or maybe say we need an allocator. Come on, man. All right, but what if we run taken on it or call taken on it to avoid it? If this kills this right here, I'm gonna. Oh, I wish I wish it would like. That'd be sweet if it actually would have blown it up. That's probably bullshit. That was. Is it totally useless? No. Was that just a short-lived fantasy? Because I was hoping because we cast it to void, but it's being cast in place, so it's not changing the other like the reference to window or the variable window anywhere else. That's just like a what would you call that? An R value, but you're not setting it to anything. That's why I was trying to set it to something. Let's see if yeah, that sucks. I don't know. Is there still value in it? Just because you see this and you know from now on, you don't have to do anything. I don't know that now its value seems diminished to me, but let's just let's leave it for now. I don't really care because maybe we'll come up with something else that's quick to get rid of. I don't hate the take variable though. Maybe there's something more common. I just think move semantics, but take is pretty sweet. You can't do anything here, right? You can't like poison this without poisoning the underlying. Wait a minute. Yes, I can. What if I just what if I just set it to null in the macro? Anybody calling it after that would blow up in assert at minimum, right? Like nobody could touch it and it would kind of explicitly blow up. I is that what we want? Can we go back to let's try this again. I won't really be able to tell, but it will blow up. What if I just do this? Then I don't have to call that. Maybe let's see if we just explode instantly. This window take function. What if we just get rid of that? We're just wanting to test this. Line 29. Assertion failed. Hmm. It feels like like if you have assert heavy code, it feels like a great way to catch something like this. I mean, my whole pattern could be upside down, I guess, and like not. My whole pattern could be like, don't be an idiot and just have the server create it because it owns it. Just like it creates its display. It creates its display and its surface and its constructor. So maybe functions should be the only way to add. I might come back on this. I'm kind of stoked that that part worked, and I like the taken, but we might be going around this about this wrong. Like maybe you really do want the server to create the window, and because it owns the entire life cycle. If there's no other use case for a window outside of living inside a server, does it make sense? Like, what would you name it? Window server window create. I don't know. We're gonna just do this for now, just so we can keep moving. But yeah, that our dream might have died. Although we can kind of do what we want. Okay, I gotta take one more break. Just a sec. Okay. Oh, what was that about? All right. Create, destroy. So we're not using that yet. So we know what we're gonna need here. We're gonna need window T, WS window T, pointer, 2 pointers. Windows. Do we just want to do one first? Deal with the array. Let's just do it like this and say we got 5 windows. Obviously, this is temporary. Let's be more egregious, make ourselves do it early. All right. Mm. Do we still like that double underscore, or do we only do it in that one case? Because it could have been the name of a key. The reason, if I haven't explained it on enums, that I use those here is because, oh, well, shit. It's not really an enum. You're using it as a compile time constant. That's why people use define as well. But if you use a variable like in a function, it's not compile time known. So then that's how you get VLAs that were brought in C99 and then made optional in C11, maybe it made optional. And they just feel there's probably great use for it, but I'm not on constrained machines, and I don't mind not having like stack based variable like arrays. Maybe I should try them out sometime just to again learn, make the mistakes and learn myself. But I've just kind of avoided them for most of my C work because when I heard about them, I always heard about them in a negative light. So maybe I should be more open to it. We also never did assert limit greater than 0. Height. Let's put these in the order they're sent in. This is window count. So when we take a window, we obviously need the server too. 2. 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2  2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 That's going to be server window count plus plus assert server window count plus 1 is less than. We got two windows. I'm getting off by one error in my brain. I'm sorry. Um, server. The max is 3. Yeah, so it's not 0 base, 0 indexed. They count as at least, but the index is 0 base, obviously. All right. Server window. Oh, what am I doing? I'm going to put this in here. Count plus plus. I think these are life cycle. These will be something else. All right. Oh, this is where the server actually is now going to need a composite, right? Oh, sorry. The server has to have like a why can't I get there? I don't know if I like composite or composited. Composited frame or something. Composited. Why is everything broken? So this is going to need to be the same size. Composited. So luckily, these are all going to be the same size, which we want. We don't really have to assert anything because we're passing it straight through. All right. So this is part of the render loop. Do we want to get rid of this? Kind of like having something visible on the screen. Why don't we're going to clear the desktop. Oh, we're not drawing the window yet. What if we draw it on the server and then we'll push it in just to test functionality? This is a stupid function just to hoist this stuff out. We'll never keep this. We just want some kind of lines or content. I'm even going to keep it in this little temp thing. So we're going to clear it. We're going to draw the lines. That way we can see a window on top of it. And we'll go 432 index equals 0 is less than server window count plus plus I. this is where we would get the pointer and call a draw function. But what we're going to do for now is just get a window, get the window itself. Windows I, because we don't even have ordering. Like what's Z ordering? But because we only got one window, it doesn't matter. We need a draw rectangle function, right? Do we have to derail to that? I hope my audio is okay. My headphones just came off. Just said, all right, I think we're good. This video might end up being longer because we're going to get derailed into a few things. I can already kind of feel it. At 32 width, at 32 height. And we start to get into these drawing functions. I'm going to be very clumsy. I might even have to look up some stuff. I feel like I should know it. I've done enough like software renders and all this stuff. But I think these are places, especially like line drawing functions, where I just have to look them up. I can't derive them currently. Like Bresenham's or however you pronounce it, line. During this video though, or these series of videos, for that line one, I'm going to research and really understand it and then do it on camera because once I understand something once, then it's way easier for me to come back and like check it and look and go, oh yeah, and remember. Versus I've kind of been copying it around. I don't think I ever understood the actual algorithm completely. I know. I mean, I guess I know I haven't, and I've used it that a lot of projects. So it's the whole point of this series, I guess. So you're going to see me struggle, but I'll try to do some research before at least, so I don't always kill too much time. All right, I'll shut up. Let's go. One thing I will say, I need to show you this in the colors. I said I was going to show it. Pixel is what we used to have as our U32, where it's a RGBA, 8-bit, 8-bit, 8-bit. That's still the backing. A pointer or an array of U32s is still the backing for surfaces where we draw. So colors, things we're showing colors, still the same. But we have this like new, what we now, it's still called, this is called color now instead of the U32. And it's RGBA. It's easier to work with from a user perspective, but everything, the pack and unpack convert between color and pixel. I considered not having a pixel type and just keeping it U32 everywhere. We did that on something else where we didn't want to hide the underlying type, but I think pixel is common enough and we don't want to I don't know if you would accidentally move stuff around, but packing and unpacking and just seeing a generic type U32. I kind of like the idea of a pixel. And yeah, we're going to try it out. I do like the pixel and color, even though they represent like this is 32 bits. I think we can even cast, from this to this and vice versa. But whatever, that's why you're going here. I'm taking in a user like struct color, packing it as a to a U32 and assigning it here. All right. We need to do like quite a few asserts here because well, even more so on our composite like blitting function, I guess. But Wait a minute. Hold on. I'm at it. Do I not? Is there a function? Oh, whoa, wait a minute. Oh no, we clear we need because we're going to clear the window is going to clear its surface. And then the server is going to draw. Wait, do I need to draw a rectangle right now? Can I get away with just skipping this? Am I wasting our time? Draw rect, even a filled rect. Sorry. Does that make sense? We can do graphics, surface, clear. It's not, nothing's changing in here, but we need to like, I think it's valuable to like show we're going to be clearing at every frame because you're going to be drawing some kind of draw function. And then what, we got to pick a color and then we'll do window. Didn't we have a color? Background content. Window. What's going on? Surface and color. Incomplete type. Oh, content. Oh shoot. We don't have access to that. You know why? Because this is in here. That stinks for now. I got to make it public so this thing can see it. And again, this is temporary. I think when we have the draw function, it's not going to need this anymore. So this is totally temporary. And we can hide all the internals. Content, window, content, color. Now I need for each window. I don't even know why I don't really need this. Visually, I kind of like it. I'm just going to keep it for now. So we need to blit each window content onto the composite. But first, even surface. So what do we need? We need something like surface blit. We're going to do like Unix style where the first parameter is the destination, not the source. And server composited server desktop. So we don't actually need to clear this because this was going to be, we're not going to draw on the desktop anymore. So this composited. So you could do this, but the desktop's doing it right here. You don't really need to clear it because you're going to write over the whole composite in every frame. So who cares? But we don't have a blit. And then down here, I think you're going to maybe somewhere else you call the draw functions. And then here's just for rendering them. I'm not sure yet, but imagine this. Then you go window content. So it's target source. And what do you say? Where do you draw it at? Hey, you got to specify. You're taking one thing and drawing another, but they're not the same size. Oh, but let me just do that. And then window, X window, Y. Oh, shit. Sorry about that. Lots of detours. This is more complicated than it seems, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I don't even know if I can do I know how to do this. So if I have target of 64800 by 600 and a source of 300 by 250 with an x y xy equals 100 by 100. That means I need to draw. I'm just kind of thinking out loud. I need to draw from 100 by 100 through 400 by 250, 350. That's not minus. That should be like that or something. Can I do... This might get brutal. I might have to look this up, honestly. But I'm going to give it a shot. How much time are we at? 1:30. This might be a pause in second video. Let's just try. Because you're going to need... What? You're going to need like you have... It's not like you can just draw all the pixels. You got to do it by row. All right. So start. I'm just going to see something that seems reasonable to me. Start X is X. Start Y is Y. End X equals start X plus source width Okay. And then we're going to loop. This is the destination. Start X, right? Destination. That's more for like destination, because we're going to have the source as well. So destination X and So what if we go 4? We can just loop. We can just do. This feels wrong. And we'll probably start with the rows. I don't like this anyway. We actually do dy equals dy start, and dy is less than dy end plus dy. It's going to be the same for x. So we have 100 by 100 right now. So if we go target, I'm not saying this is really what we're going to do, but so now we just need to get the source value. Do we just want to do like source x? We don't need a start name. We can just use the width of the source. Like we don't need to calculate anything. So source x, like we can just say we only need one variable, and we could use source width is the end. Source. We're going to start at 0. Right. I'm just going to have a placeholder. So we need to grab the current. Oh shit, is this right? This might not be right. Data. No, that actually is, I think, right. I was going to say, does this need to be source width? But no. But let's try to get the, what are we trying to get? A U32. No, we're trying to get a graphics pixel T. Are we even using that everywhere? Is that what this is? Yeah, okay, that's fine. Pixel source pixel. I'm gonna change name later. source data SX. I just feel like it can't be this easy. Source X. I don't think it could be this easy. I feel like it's fooling us, and it might even look like it works because it's all solid color. All right, what if it's X and Y is Z? Then that's Z zero. I mean zero, not Z, because it's the full size. Okay, well let's. If I remember right too, there's a way faster like mem copy way to do this too. Instead of pixel by pixel, you can do mem copy by row. But to all right. How bad is this going to be? And then we're going to present the compositive. Let's get embarrassed. Exactly. Oh, our wind. That's funny. Um, I don't love what that is, but I'm not going to care right now. Holy crap, it actually worked. I don't know why I thought that was going to be so much harder. But something isn't right. Still, we're going to go out on a high here, but let's look at our logic because something is still wrong. Oh, when we initialize the server, let's do that. I don't know if I'll love this in here, but we got to at some point we got to clear the background color for the desktop, right? Because you don't need to redraw the background's not changing. See, the desktop, you just blit it the one time and let it live, like until an icon gets placed there or something else. And maybe you would even blit on top of that and leave the background still. The background surface, when does it ever need to change? You constantly blit on top of it, but I don't think it needs to change. So surface, we're going to blit the desktop onto the composited. That's the whole window though. What happened to our temp draw line, draw pixels? We're drawing that. We're drawing that onto the desktop. So let's do this again. I just lied because we want that. Let's move this. We're just going to pay they don't care about performance here. We are going to redraw the desktop because the desktop's going to have these stupid lines on it because we're just kind of exercising as much as we can. So draw the background on the desktop. We draw temp lines. You know what we can do? Let's do this. Server desktop. And we're going to change this to GFX surface, just to make it. Oh, no, I can't because I need that width and height. I'm dumb. All right. So we're going to draw the background on the desktop every time. Then we're on the server. Sorry, we're going to draw lines on the desktop too. Then the desktop with the color and the lines is going to be composited over the whole composite. So we don't have to clear composite. Then we're going to grab each window and draw the window color into the content. This is kind of like this one. We only need to do it once, but it's better to just exercise it all, each frame. Then we're going to blit the window content onto the composited and show the composited. So this hopefully is what we want to see. The only thing that's missing is the lines being drawn. Or I don't know why that would make a difference, but something surface clear, draw pixels from onto the desktop, blit. So that is working. I'm doing something dumb. Present. I don't know why these aren't getting. Why are you not getting these lines drawn on you? All right, I'm almost done. I need another break to grab a drink. Just a sec. All right. I would really love to wrap this up. And we got memory leaks, which is sweet. That's pretty rad, actually. I do love that. We're getting notified. 5 of our 9 allocations are leaking, but we'll be able to find it super quick. It's see where it says where it's happening. We allocated surface, window, surface. Okay. But why are these lines not getting drawn? That's what's blowing my mind. We're not messing with anything, are we? We're still using packed. The surface background is a pixel. Server width. This is just some printf debug. Double check. Print red. I don't even care. I'm just going to brute force it. So it is running. Is it X? What is that? X is 0 across the desktop. Oh, you know what? It actually, this might be this might be, let's look at it again. I think I know what it is. I don't know how to fix it just yet, but I think I know what it is. Oh, I think that it's the blit function maybe isn't right. We can't tell here. Like imagine if this was a real window, it might look all skewed if it actually had content in it. Like if I was drawing stuff in here and the window title bar was up here, it might be all skewed. And that I think could be what's happening back here. Or we're just doing something dumb. But we're drawing a window. We're pushing 2 hours. I don't want to call it quits with an active bug, but maybe we'll give it five more minutes. I do know why. Holy crap. It is working because of that. This one, we're always getting the same very first pixel that's green, and we're drawing it. That's why the square works. The other one does not work because we're never incrementing. This part sucks. I don't know how to. This is where this is absolute wild guess. I don't think that's right. It was just a quick slap. Yeah. Okay. Just in case. Yeah, we're overreaching. Maybe I was right. It is. It's not as easy as I'd hoped. So we're looping through. I think this is right. I think all of this to here is right because we are populating that green window right where we want. All right. But we're not. Let's get rid of this and this for now. But the source is wrong. And let's do. We're going to call this the this index equals. Let's just do this so we can visually. Index. What the heck am I doing? That is not what that is. Should be I-32. Just kind of want to do this. So this is going to show us the bug, right? Boom. Can't even quit. So this is gone. That's fine. Did we ever the source? So these increments happen after each round. So let's do again. This didn't work before, but let's do it at the end of here as well. And at the end of each row as well. No, sorry, source. Because we do want to move at the beginning. We're going to come here and source is going to be 0, 0. Here it's going to be 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3, for X and Y. Sorry. X and Y. It would be 1, 0, 2, 0, 3, 0. And then when it gets here, it's going to go, X is going to go back to, oh, that's it. X has to go back to 0 here. There's a better way, but that, let me get rid of the printing for real quick. That might have been our problem. Yeah, if you think this one, I'm struggling with this. I think I struggled here because maybe I'm thinking of a different function that I've had to do before that felt a lot harder. I'm trying to even think what it was. This one now isn't that complicated. Okay. Well, okay. Well, we're working. How long is this video? It's 151. I'm going to tidy up as fast as I can. You can leave if you want. I'm just going to tidy up. I don't even think I'm going to refactor it right now. I might refactor later because there's got to be a cleaner, cleaner way. Maybe even double variable. Oh, because you still have to do the reset. All right, let's just go back and look what we got. I've composited. We didn't have a. I'm seeing if I can, I'd like to split off some extra commits. And this was me hoisting this back up and fixing this bug, and then a couple extra asserts that we needed anyway. I'm going to commit fix up to add and use Windows Server clean. And that just makes that there. Taken. Are we going to use that? That's a bug fix. Graphics surface blit, because that's working. Let's just commit it as is, and then we can refactor, clean it up, etc. All right, so this is now. Let's just add Windows itself. Oh yeah, I don't really want to. I mean, it can be a fix up, can be in code. It is functional. Because we're functional, we're drawing what we want, but we need to be back in, clean it up real quick because we need the draw function, etc. I might do a little cleanup and leave it how it is so I can show the draw function pointers in the next video. Surface composited, that's fine. Composited, assert, composited, window. I almost kind of still want to keep these stupid ones because that surfaced a bug for us for right now until we have like some proper graphics. I don't think I'm going to leave it. Do we want to? No, before I had it in this bracket, this is super stupid, but it might clean up the diff. Do we do stuff for the diff or do we do it for humans reading code? Yeah, see, it makes the diff way cleaner. Because then we're just adding. We don't even need that because now we're indented here. This will go away and we'll be happy. All right. I don't. Oh, shoot. Watch this. All right, now we're actually going to get to do a little magic. I'm going to stage this. Stage the index. WS add window. Doesn't really matter. It's super temporary. We're going to rebase interactive. We're going to make the take and commit the last commit. Then we're going to pop that commit off. Soft. We're going to reset to mass. Oh, reset to soft there. So it got rid of that commit. I mean, it uncommitted it. We're going to add our stash back. And now we use taken here, so we should add it when we use it. Makes a lot more sense, I think. Commit, commit, commit. Just kind of reviewing again. Add Windows to WS Server. I think that's easy enough. Wait a minute. Why didn't that go away? It still work. Why? Should a whole thing should have disappeared. Unless I hit the wrong key. Let's delete it. I'm not really worried about that code. If we're not over 2 hours, we got 2 minutes to fix this bug. Surface C line 15. All right, we're allocating surface create. Surface create. Let's see what we call in surface create. Oh. Okay. I know what it is. Window destroy. The server now owns the windows. So window destroy. Where's our window loop? Bro, we're laughing. Eee, what a nice little bug catch too. WS window destroy window. Oh, allocator. Oh, yeah, we got allocators. Yes, we can do this because we're deallocating everything. We're just destroying those, right? And then Windows in turn destroy their own surfaces. Make run. We're still leaking from somewhere else. Windows server destroy. Are we even calling it? We are because it just updated, obviously, but composite. Are we getting rid of composite? That's why we did the allocator up front. Nice. That just helps us along the way, right? We would have definitely missed that, and that would have compounded, maybe. I'll do cleanup after this video's long. We are at 2:01. Have a good one. Peace.